Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here at the Red Brick House. You know, Papa was a rolling stone, yeah. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, well, okay, I'm not dying. I'm just laying my hat, and that's my home. So I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place here. But one thing I have been looking forward to actually seeing and hearing is from Micah Parsons, not about, talking to on his podcast, but wanting to get a sense from him how he's feeling about the season and the change of coaches, because he had that meeting, of course, with Jerry Jones that was during the national championship game that we're told that went way past and beyond the game. We have no idea what was spoken on that. And since Mike McCarthy has not been brought back, he has not commented about the new coaches or anything like that, which I guess maybe is not a surprise because we had heard, people asking his thoughts on Mike Zimmer and things, and he was kind of nonchalant and says, I like doing things my way and so on, and Zim's going to have to get with basically what I do. And we took basically it said that, we haven't had 20 words talked together and stuff, so we kind of took that like, literally like, oh shit, oh shit. Yeah, like, oh shit, oh shit. We have a problem here. So the last 2 weeks, of course, he's done 2 of his podcasts, and we've gotten nothing. He's there at the Pro Bowl looking fast and looking like he's in great shape. Doesn't look like he's had any lingering effects from the season. He looks like he's ready to play football right now, which is all good things. But Micah went on with with Jerry Jones and basically saying, let's get my deal done and try and hold on to, guys like Osa and Goldston and Rico and things. And so you've got him literally begging the Joneses, sign me to the contract, and literally saying, I don't have to be the highest paid. But he was also on board with keeping things stable by keeping Mike McCarthy. Well, Mike McCarthy and Zimmer, they're all gone. So we have no idea where that goes. But now, of course, this is Super Bowl, and you've got everybody, of course, descending upon New Orleans. And you've got all the, awards and things that are going to be there. And this is where a lot of business is taken care of at the NFL. And this is, Media Row and all the interviews and things like that. So players show up for all that kind of stuff. But typically players who have not won a Super Bowl don't show up at the games. Typically you won't see too many players that haven't won a Super Bowl there until they win one. But Micah Parsons was on Mad Dog Sports Radio today, and he was talking about Derrick Henry because they asked him, would Derrick Henry would have helped? And I'll tell you what, let's listen to what exactly he said. This is an excerpt from the interview, but he literally admits that the team was just ass, that they sucked, that Derrick Henry wouldn't help him. Let's go to the tape, shall we?
I did the interview with Derrick Henry after he signed in Baltimore, and he said, yeah, I would have loved the phone call, talked to Stephen Jones about it. And, I think timing of the contracts with Dak and with CD, that was problematic in terms of overall depth. Do you think that added to it? And, you ever daydream or watch the Baltimore Ravens and say, man, if we only had someone like Derrick Henry running the football?
I'm afraid Derrick Henry wouldn't even have helped us. You know what I mean? Like we were that we Derrick Henry should be blessed because he played with Lamar. He almost went for 2,000 yards. The hypotheticals sometimes can sound pretty good, but man, we struggled so much that I don't even know if Derrick could have helped us. It would have been another Tennessee Titan year for him. So I'm happy he had the year he had, and deservingly so. And I think, being in that system with Lamar helped him hit another gear in his career. So I think everything happens for a reason, and he's right where he belongs.
Wow. So the question is how do you take that? How do you take that? That he said had Derrick Henry come to the Cowboys, it would have been another Tennessee Titan year. So Micah Parsons is admitting how bad the team was, that literally there's more wrong with us than just the running back. Now, I will say that it would have helped us if you had Derrick Henry and we had stayed healthy, and we can play the hypotheticals if you want to. you might look at this and say, because here's what led up to Dak Prescott getting injured. We could not run the football very effectively. We literally had some games where we had like 62 yards, 58 yards and things. And so people kept saying, Dak's got to use his legs. Dak's got to use his legs. Well, that sounds great in theory, but we're talking about a guy who had a soft cast on before training camp, who literally has had an ankle that's been destroyed. Running the football has never been a huge part of Dak Prescott's game. He is a guy who's usually, you got receivers finding the guy that's open and hitting multiple receivers. He is a pocket quarterback. But unfortunately, we could not run the ball effectively, where he all of a sudden, everybody's saying Dak needs to run, Dak needs to run, and Dak recognized, I'm going to have to take off and run the football because we can't run. Now, maybe, just maybe, Derrick Henry, who could get more yards after contact than Zeke or Brandon Cooks or Rico, that maybe it would have helped us to have had a semblance of a running game that you had to worry about because Derrick Henry could break it. But he's right, though, because even with Derrick Henry early on, we had lost so many players. When you cannot force a punt in two games, you're not going to win too many games. And it's kind of like somebody had posted on Twitter, they said one of the worst games that they'd ever watched. And it was the Jacksonville versus the Cowboys one, where it was a pick six to finish the game, a pick six. And it ended up being 34-40. You score 34 points, and the pick six, I don't put on the quarterback because the ball was perfectly thrown in Noah Brown's hands, and he tips it up, and the defender catches and goes for six. And those are times you look at it and say, shit, you score 34 points. If you could have had a stop here and there, you win the game, but you couldn't. And that's the same thing about this year. We were just bad everywhere. We didn't know that you block a punt, don't touch it if it goes past the line of scrimmage. Don't touch it. We failed in every aspect. Couldn't run the football, couldn't stop the run, couldn't force out punts. So he's right in a way that, having Derrick Henry would have been nice to have had him here, but it certainly wouldn't help Derrick Henry any. So the question now begs is, Micah Parsons, knowing how bad this team was, does he want to re-sign here? Does he want to think about pulling a Myles Garrett and saying, trade me? I don't know. Time will tell, but I think that a lot of it is going to be what the Joneses do over the course of the next 2 months. If by April we've lost Osa, Goldston, and Rico, and we've done nothing, like we did last year, if I'm Micah Parsons, I want to hit the exit. I'm out of here. I'm out. So we'll see where this goes and what happens with it. But wow, that's not what I expected the first go-round. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.